Hello, it's Frank. I'm here to show you how to use Zoom as a small group benefit, or how to assemble online with everything that's going on. Right now, the first video here that I'm going to show you is how to set up a Zoom account and how to set up a meeting to share. And then the next video I'll show you how to actually host a video. And then the third video will be for an attendee to attend your meeting. So this is going to be really simple. I'm going to try to keep it try not to go over the top. I'm just going to keep it simple to show you the features that you need to know. We could obviously go into advanced details and things like that, but I just want to make it simple for you. So of course you want to go to zoom.us, and it'll take you to a page that looks like this. You will need to, of course, create an account. I'm already logged in, but if you've not created an account, I'm going to show you here. Go to plans and pricings. And we just want the free version. It'll do everything that we want to. You'll see you can host up to 100 participants. And it's or you can do unlimited one-to-one meetings. So if you just wanted to meet with just one person on together and talk and share, maybe do video chat or something like that, or maybe just 2 or 3 people, doesn't matter. You can have up to 100 people on that for the free version. The thing with the free version is that you do not have, you have a limit of 40 minutes on the group meetings. Now you can go much higher on the $14.99 on the Pro version. You can have a meeting duration of 24 hours. Who does that? So $14.99 is not bad. That is a one-time. That's a monthly host, but it's only for the person hosting. So the attendees do not have to pay that. The attendees can attend for free. So that's your option if your meeting is going to last 40 minutes. Another way around that is to end the meeting and restart if you wanted to just do the free. So whichever you prefer to do, that's totally up to you. This is just one option to try to get you the results that you need. So go ahead and make your decision. You can start with the sign up for free and see what you want to do and go from there. I'm going to go ahead and go to my account here. Now you can, of course, when you first create it, you'll have just a placeholder here. It'll say add an account or add your picture, whatever you want to do. Or if you have one, you can change. One thing that I did want to point out is with the things that are going on with the virus and things like that, with the free version, the call in or the dial in by phone audio may be limited or not even available. So you'd have to do online only. If you have the free version, they're offering that. Of course, they have to, monetize how they can to pay for the services. So the free version would be the first to be outed on that supply and demand chain. So just to let you know that. But most people will probably be jumping on via their phone or the computer or whatever that you want to be able to do. So you can do that as well. So we want to take care of that. So first thing, of course, you want to do is under your profile are just different basic settings. It'll show you, of course, your account, your name. You can edit that over here. Always on the right hand side, you can edit. This is your personal meeting ID, and that could be used for different purposes. We'll get into that in just a moment. Your sign-in email. You have your user type. Mine's basic, and of course you can upgrade at any time, and I'll upgrade as well. I'm just wanting to show you what you can access from the free version. I just recently gave up my GoToWebinar, and I've not upgraded yet, because I do trainings and meetings and things like that, and I've not done one yet with Zoom. So I've been playing around with it just a bit, and I've not upgraded. So it shows my meeting capacity as 100, and of course there's always these little question mark bubbles. If you're always quite curious, you can click on the bubble and it'll give you a little descriptor. So it says you can host limited 40 minutes meetings with up to 100 participants. That just gives you a little bit more information. It shows you your language and your time zones. Well, mine's set to Eastern. You can change that if you're elsewhere. Your date format is here, and it shows you an example of what your date would look like. And if you wanted to use 24-hour time, you can. If you have any, you can connect to your calendar service. So if you have a group calendar for your team, you can actually connect to that calendar through here, whether it be Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, or Yahoo Calendar. You can attach any of those so that when you have a meeting, you could post that to that calendar. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And of course, we have our sign-in password and your host key information, and then signed-in devices. So if I'm signed into multiple devices, I can sign out from all of them and join here. So that's pretty much the basics on your profile. Now, if we want to have a meeting, and that's what I'm going to cover right now today, is meetings, because that's what most people will do. We can schedule a meeting. So we can actually save time by scheduling your meetings directly from your calendar. So you could actually attach that to your calendar and schedule it right from the calendar if you want. I imagine most people will be just doing it from here as well. And so I'm going to schedule a meeting, and we could call it whatever we wanted. My meeting. And we could give it a description if you so choose. We can pick a time, and I can say on today at 5 o'clock p.m. I'm going to have a meeting. So I'm going to actually change that. I'm going to go to let's say, I want to see if it'll actually allow me to do this. It says 4:30. Maybe I want to change it to 4:45. It will. And it will not. So it looks like it's done on 30-minute increments. So I couldn't do, let me see if I have to do it that way. Yep, okay. So you could type in the specific time, but you then of course have to click on it. It's not going to allow you just to change that. Now it says you can set the duration. It says, see that it's defaulted to an hour, but it says your Zoom Basic plan has a 40-minute time limit meetings on with 3 or more participants. Upgrade now to enjoy unlimited meetings. Now, notice it says 3 or more. So if it's only 2, that's you and then somebody else, that's a one-on-one, and that's unlimited. So it says 3 or more. So once that third person joins is when it starts that 40-minute clock. So that's on that as well. It says my time zone setting here is general Mountain Time. I keep reading that. Eastern Time. We're on Eastern Time. We can set that is set by default in our general settings that we had in our profile. It just pulls that over. If you're traveling, maybe you're in a different location, you can actually change that. We can also on a recurring meeting, we could click on this. So like maybe you're meeting once a week, maybe you're meeting on every Tuesday of the month, or maybe it's once a month. You can actually set that. So if it's a daily meeting, you can say repeats daily for 1 day, 5 days, whatever. You can say weekly. And then you can choose if it's a Tuesday meeting, you can click on Tuesday, occurs on Tuesday, turn off Friday, because I'm not going to meet Tuesday and Friday. So it's every week on Tuesday, and we can say end date. So if we're doing a 6-week program, you can figure out what 6 weeks is, or you can say end date after 7 occurrences, or if it's 6 weeks, you can say after six occurrences. What's great about that is that the meeting URL that you get, they'll provide a link for you. It'll generate an ID. If you're having a series of 6, it'll always be that same ID. If you just do it one at a time, you have to then, of course, share that ID meeting, which is not a bad thing. Of course, that's for security purposes and things like that. So if you want to do a 6, or if you're doing 12-week or whatever, you can set that, and the meeting would always be the same. If you want to require a meeting password, if you only want the key to your group or your meeting team to access it, so somebody said, oh, I heard such and such is having a meeting at, we'll just join in, we got the link. No, they'd have to have a password to join in, and you can set that password yourself. If you wanted to have, something you want to put there, you can, or you can say no, not require a password. So that's totally up to you. And the video is relating to your webcam. That is, if you have a webcam. By default, it's off, and I generally recommend it to be off for this. And the purpose of that is just so that we can so that when somebody comes into the meeting, like when I enter a meeting, I don't, my glasses may not be straight, or I'm just not looking the way I want to quite yet. I don't want to just, hey, there I am. So I turn that off. And I do that same thing for the participants. They may not want their video to come on first thing, but you can give them the option to turn that on when they, if they so choose. And a lot of people just aren't comfortable having their video on the screen, but that's totally up to you. Now, of course, I also recommend leaving this to both telephone and computer audio. And so you can leave, if you leave it to both, the option would be that they can join via the screen, or they can call in to the number that's provided from them. So that's available as well. So our meeting options are, if you want to, if members get there before you do, you can enable to join before the host. So maybe I'm running a few minutes late, they can go ahead and start without you. You can also set the mute participants upon entry. That means obviously that wouldn't be very good if you have enabled, you wouldn't want both of those, in my opinion, because if they could join before the host but can't talk to each other, it kind of defeats the purpose. So just to let you know about that. So if you mute everybody, nobody can hear anybody, but if so you can see the options there. You can enable a waiting room, and that allows if you've ever been in a meeting or whatever, there's a kind of a placeholder screen that pops up and says, the meeting will be starting shortly, that type of thing. And that's what that is, available first. You cannot have both of these on at the same time. Obviously you can, nothing happens. It just kind of cancels out. So you have to have one or the other. It is one or the other. So if you're going to enable them to join the host before, you can do that. You can record the meeting automatically on the local computer. Now with the local computer, with a free version, it records the local computer by default. If you have the paid version, you have the option of local computer or cloud recording. And that option would be shown there if you had the paid version. So if you want to record the meeting, you could click here, and as soon as the meeting starts, it'd start recording to your computer, and then to give you a location. It's generally your name / documents, and then it gives sometimes it gives a subfolder of Zoom or something like that, and then the file name generally is the meeting ID or something of that sort. So we can save this, and once that's saved, you can see that we have our first meeting, and now we can add it to our Google Calendar, our Outlook calendar, or Yahoo calendar. I could click on here, and it's going to try to open up my Google account and ask if I want to join that to my calendar or the shared calendar. I'm going to skip that right now because I'm not really interested in doing that. I would just I would just share the join URL. And of course it would require a meeting password of sunny day, and so the join URL would be here. So if I'm not doing this, if I do the calendar, it would post the information to the calendar. If I'm doing the join URL, it gives me the copy of the invitation. It'll give us a information like this. You can see all the details. It says on you can do it via mobile, one tap mobile. You can do the meeting. It gives you the meeting ID and stuff like that right here. So you can just copy this meeting invitation, open up your email file, whichever you're using, Gmail, Outlook, whatever, and then just paste that into your email, and then send it to the people that needs to have access to that meeting. So we can do that as well. And I'm going to be actually I have to change that because our meeting is already happening onto this time. So for the next one, I'll just go ahead and change the time and schedule that meeting so I can record the second video. But that's pretty much how to set up a meeting. And then when you are ready to join this meeting, you would log in at that time and click start this meeting. At the time or just a few minutes before, however, like that. So you would just log back in and start this meeting. Once the meeting is over, you could go to recordings, and it would show a list of your local recordings here. It would show you the path of how to get there and things of that sort. So that's the basics of how to schedule a meeting, how to get your account and schedule a meeting and things like that. In the next video, I will show you how to start the meeting and things that you can do during the meeting.